Facing consequence in marriage. My name is Olusegun Mokuolu. There are a lot of people who are having challenges in marriage, difficulties in marriage, very, very, very terrible situations. Situations of abandonment, situations of terrible adultery, disgrace, shame, beating, all manner of wickedness. Men or husbands who are hypocrites, who appear nice to people outside, was very terrible to his wife in the house. But there's something that usually we miss. And by the way, let me say also that there are husbands who are facing very terrible situation in marriage. Their wives giving them serious trouble, serious problems. But there's something we miss. You see, when you decide to marry somebody, what you are going to get in marriage is the consequence of that decision. As human beings, we don't like to take responsibility for our decisions. We love to blame people. So you see a demon and you go and marry a demon, and then you are now complaining in marriage that is treating you like a devil. That decision to marry a demon carries consequence. You were both fornicating. You didn't build your marriage on God. Now in marriage, you're having problems. You're having he or she is committing adultery. You forgot that the fact that you marry somebody who has no fear of God to fornicate with you means you will face the consequence of having somebody in marriage who does not fear God. Some of you may even have kept yourself. You may even have married as a virgin. But the person you marry is not born again, because virginity is not sanctification. The fact that you've never had sex before does not mean that you are born again. And virginity cannot replace knowledge. If you don't have knowledge about something, the fact that you are a virgin does not mean you are going to know it. You may be a virgin and you may not know algebra. The way to know algebra is to learn algebra. Virginity is good, but you must equally have knowledge. So what happens is that when you get to marry, that suffering you are facing in marriage is a consequence of your wrong decision. But you go about blaming the man or blaming the woman, telling everybody the story of how wicked your spouse is. The only thing you have refused to do is to point the finger at yourself, not knowing that the greater finger should be pointed at yourself. The Bible says, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves. Do you know what it means to humble yourself? To acknowledge that you are the one that has made mistake. That man that is a thorn in your flesh today, that man that has brought sorrow to your life today, you could have avoided that man if you had obeyed God. You could have avoided that man if you had followed the word of God. Whether out of disobedience, out of sheer ignorance, or whatever. The truth is that you didn't marry in accordance with the word of God. You should humble yourself and acknowledge that. Many people don't do that. So they maintain a posture that suggests that they are on their right. It is this person that is wicked. But you chose that person. You said yes to that person. Some people say, well, when I wanted to marry him, he was caring, he was nice, he was so. I said, did God say you should marry because he was caring? Did he say you should marry because he was nice? Have you not read that he said the heart of man is desperately wicked and deceitful above all things? Who can know it? So it's only God who can tell you that this heart is good. This heart, have nothing to do with this one. When Samuel saw Eliab, he said, surely the Lord's anointed is before me. God said, I have not chosen him. For man does not look as God does not look as man looks. Man looks at outward appearance. God looks inside. It is the God who sees inside that can help you to choose marital spouse, right? But many times people neglect the things of God at that stage. Sometimes it was your desperation to get married. But my point is this. There's a consequence for our decisions. And you must own up to it. You must accept it. That is when you will receive mercy. That is when healing can start. Because you acknowledge before God that, God, I have made mistake. Don't be like Adam that blamed the woman. Don't be like the woman that blamed the serpent. Acknowledge your fault before God. You made the wrong decision. Now you are suffering. You are suffering because of a wrong decision. It's not because your spouse is bad. And we are not by this excusing your spouse. We are simply telling you that own up to your own mistake and then receive mercy from God. I am Olusegun Mokuolu. God bless you.